is just fantastic. Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today I'd like to talk about a TV show that ran on the CW for 3 seasons and 51 episodes. They weren't very good episodes, but I'm sure some stood out as trailblazing, pioneering, entertaining. Hell, some of it crossed over into other areas of the CW, i.e. The Flash and of course Crisis on Infinite Earths, which made for a rather interesting, let's say, climax to a story that had been planned for years. It wasn't very well executed though, and of course, because of how that ended and because of how coronavirus struck, they couldn't really, the CW, capitalize on that. Not that they could have even if they tried. Let's face it, when it comes to writing in the CW, they like to regurgitate the exact same thing over and over and over and over again, proving that none of the actors, protagonists, antagonists actually learn their lessons. Rinse and repeating the exact same mistake they had made in an episode earlier that they had apparently already learnt from, the Flash being the more obvious of those. Batwoman had a controversial beginning, not least because of the rather cringy introduction via a trailer with Ruby Rose, and because they really had to drill the point home that she's a woman, and that makes her superior to Batman. Okay, doesn't really matter now, especially, but when Ruby Rose was cast, and then after leaving 1 season later, there were a number of controversies because of it. Ruby Rose indicating that she had gone through a whole mountain of injuries, and Warner Brothers, well, they clapped back. So who do you believe? I have no idea. But as a consequence, CW decided to cast someone else in the role of Batwoman. The problem is, when they did this, they didn't really market it right. Nor did they manage to write a story that resonated with the audience, instead pushing the virtuous signaling of, but look at my gender and my race. By doing so, you made the person who portrayed Batwoman look like a complete and utter clown. A good actress wasted by rubbish writing and a somewhat shite direction. Now, as is well known, it is not the only show to have been cancelled, but with Legends of Tomorrow, it did run its course. It diversified, it changed, it adapted, and I think it went 3 seasons longer than it had originally intended. But with Batwoman, they didn't really get a chance. So let's now go through some of the coverage of this and what people think about this cancellation. So the first thing we should look at to try and work out why it was cancelled is the ratings from when it started to the ratings it has now. Any show, unless it finds a way to truly stand out or has Mark Harmon in it, suffers from the law of diminishing returns. So if there is no way of keeping those ratings there, you will invariably keep going down. That happened during the time of Ruby Rose during her only season, where after 20 episodes it went from a debut of 1.86 million US viewers down to 740,000 at the finale. For seasons 2 and 3, it premiered at 660,000 US viewers and ended on 420,000 viewers. Just to give this some context, after 3 seasons of The Flash, they were sat on 3 million viewers. Now working their way through an 8th season, they're going to be gone soon. They get around 500,000 viewers now. That's understandable frustration with the writing. It happens, because CW don't know how to write The Flash, apparently. So how did those involved react to the news? Showrunner Caroline Dries just got the sad news that Batwoman will not be seeing a season 4. Hardly surprised, it only had 13 episodes for season 3 compared to 20 for season 2. I am bummed but full of gratitude. What an honor to make 51 episodes. Rachel Scarston, who played Alice on the show, I've been off Twitter for a while but wanted to come on and say with a heavy heart Batwoman has been cancelled, with the leading actress for the show simply thanking everyone involved and the fans for the experience that she had, because it was obviously more fun than Ruby Rose's. One of my favourite responses on Twitter came from The Critical Drinker. Truly a sad day for humanity, and I couldn't agree more. And under that, a reply from Batman probably, TV as we know it will never be the same, brackets, thank God. Because of how the CW started, how Arrow really kicked things off, how The Flash took it to another level, and all the spin-offs since, and The Flash faltering after season 3. Well, season 3 was partly to blame, to be honest. It's understandable that with all the newer shows that came up because of those shows, stopping before The Flash had even finished. It's not a good sign. I believe Supergirl suffered a similar fate and ended a year ago, and that show went through all the, necessary changes it had to go through, where almost everyone has to be a superhero, which is another problem many people had with the CW, or still have in fact if there are any shows still going that isn't just The Flash at this point. The remaining fans of the show, though, have taken it upon themselves to urge HBO Max to step in, akin to that of many people who loved Hannibal wanting Netflix to give us a season 4. I'm a big fan of Hannibal. My top dollar patrons watch an episode with me once a fortnight. It's glorious. We're on season 2. Sadly though, that didn't go anywhere. We don't have a season 4 that we truly deserve. And not everything can be saved like Lucifer and given its fair run to finish. When it comes to the fans wanting another season perhaps, I don't think HBO should step in. They know that it doesn't have the return. Even if they promote it, can they really get much out of it? Don't forget here, if you get the same cast back, you have to pay them, and it's going to be more. You've got to pay for the rights to have that. You've got to pay for the rights to distribute that. I don't believe such a thing would be worth it, but I could be wrong. And if I am of course wrong, I would love to be told in the comments. If you are yourself a fan of Batwoman, please do tell me and explain to me why you are a fan of it. I am not in any way accusing you of being a bad person for liking it. I fell out of love with the CW, I'd say for certain, when Arrow ended, but I was starting to lose a lot of interest in it once everyone on the show had a power or an ability or was a hero wearing a mask. It was quite irritating to me. And the same is for The Flash, the same for Legends, although to be honest that was meant to be. And I do realise that with Superman and Lois being on HBO Max, that Batwoman could well prosper there. The thing is, the writing for Superman and Lois is fantastic. Can you really say the same for Batwoman in its current form?